What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy back with another one. People, in today's video, we want to talk about the importance of Cape Town, right? And why it's going to become the center battlefield between South Africa and the West. People, let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know we family, right? Hello. People, we all know about the war that's going on in Palestine, right? And we know South Africa's stance on that situation. Okay, now we all know that South Africa is being punished for what it is doing in support of Palestine, the ICJ case against Israel, right? We all know that. Tie that in with the secession application of the Independence Party of Cape Town, the Cape Independence Party, and they want Cape Town to separate from the rest of South Africa. Now, why is this significant? Okay, listen me. Listen me. People, the Houthis are causing havoc in the Red Sea, right? They are cutting off trade routes to Europe. Remember, most of Europe's, well, a lot of Europe's products come from Asia because it's cheaper markets there, right? So, if you cut off the shipping lines to Europe via the Red Sea, right? That means they've got to come all the way around to Cape Town. Now, do you now see the significance of Cape Town? So, if the ANC wants to be, what word can I put here? If the ANC wants to be funny, or if the ANC wants to be tactful, the ANC can close off the Cape Town port to Western shipping containers and to Western ships, right? They're already blocked in the Red Sea. They can't come around to Cape Town. Where else can they go? There's no other option. Russia won't allow them at the top. China won't allow them to go around if the BRICS alliance is to stand together. So do you see how important Cape Town is? Now, a lot of people are looking at Cape Town and thinking this could be the next frontier for the war that's going on in Palestine. Because America wants to play um, petty games, right? So South Africa can too be petty, just like America. Can they not? Now, imagine if South Africa decides that they are no longer going to allow Western ships to pass through the Cape Port. Do you know the devastating impact that would have on Europe, on America? As we speak now, trade supplies to Israel are almost at a, in fact, it's already reached at troubling levels. It's astonishing what those Houthi people are doing in the Red Sea, right? So, if South Africa has to emulate what the Houthis are doing, not bombing, not attacking, or not, just closing the port, just saying it's closed for maintenance when it comes to Western ships, and then they reopen them when it comes to African ships or Chinese and any Eastern ships, right? Let's just say they pretend to close the shop off for maintenance, for reconstruction, for whatever. You know what I mean? Now, picture this. Do you know what America would possibly do? Because then all the trade routes from the east would be blocked off, closed off totally, right? So they know that. See, so they know that. So now what they're trying to do is communicate with. No, that's why they're in communication with the DA and the Cape Independence Party, right? Because they know for a fact that this is a very vital point, right? And it's to a point where these people actually need this port to stay open by all costs. Because if South Africa decides to play petty and close off the Cape Town port, that would cause disaster. Now, we could say they could stop over in Mozambique, and that's true. That's true. They could stop over in Kenya, they could stop over in Mozambique, but then they have to go right around, get to Walvis Bay, which is Namibia. If Namibia decides to play ball with South Africa and say, no, we support South Africa in this, then they have to go all the way up to Angola. Now, the distance from Mozambique or Kenya all the way to Angola, if Angola also decides to play ball with them, or decides to play ball with South Africa, then they got to go, oh, I mean, it's not sustainable. If Africa decides to stand with South Africa, I promise you, the supply routes to Europe will be totally closed off. And that's what they fear the most. Now, a lot of people didn't think about it that way. And a lot of people don't even know that when the DA, or more like the Cape Independence Party, when they were speaking to the American people, that's the one thing that they were offering. The use, so they could take over the Cape Town port, the seaport, which is a very lucrative and attractive offer for the Western nations, to America specifically, right? Did you ever think of Cape Town, or did you ever look at it in that light to say, "Whoa, these people are offering America a seaport in exchange for helping them to separate or secede from South Africa"? I didn't even think of it. And man, it now makes sense that that's the reason why South Africa is now interested in this whole secession debate, because of this vital trading route. Ever since the Houthis blocked off the Red Sea trading route, shipping to Europe and shipping to America has become extra, no, what's the word? Astronomical. The price of fuel, the price of shipping goods from Asia has become astronomical, right? So now they need to find a cheaper route, because going around the Cape is almost, I think, almost nearing like double what they were going to be charging or paying if they were going through the Red Sea. Guys, this is huge. This is huge. Do you think South Africa should actually be petty and close off the seaport? Do you think that South Africa should hit back by playing hardball with America? Or do you think South Africa just let it slide and let America do what they want to do? What do you think? Because I really feel, to be honest, that South Africa should be petty too. I really think we should close the embassy as well. I think we should close the port as well. Show them that we do not need them. I mean, of course, we do need them, but in some cases, you got to forego your needs and play hardball too. That's just the way I feel. I could be wrong, but one thing I do know, America plays hardball and they can be petty too. So South Africa can also play hardball and also be petty. Like the soft, you see, the soft aggression. I like to call it soft aggression, right? Microaggressions, microaggression. You see, like the microaggression of changing Fenton Drive to Leila Khalid Drive. That's soft aggression, microaggression, right? But it's effective because America is threatening to close its consulate on that drive, thereby denying Johannesburgers and any American citizens access to a consulate because they said they're only going to open the ones in Pretoria, Durban, and Cape Town if the name change goes ahead. You see, microaggressions work. So, do you think that South Africa should also react with a microaggression with the seaport in Cape Town? What do you think? Next, we get into the pros of closing the seaport to Western shipping containers and Western shipping companies, and they're only opening it for East and South American shipping companies. You know how we do. Holler. People, let's talk about the pros of Cape Town closing the seaport, right, to Western shipping companies. Number one, it will show the Western media and it will show America and their Western allies that South Africa is not to be messed with, right? Number two, it will add leverage to South Africa in negotiating and strong arming America into doing whatever South Africa wants them to do. Number three, it the closing of that seaport will definitely choke off the Western shipping lanes from Asia because there's no other route. That's the only two routes is the one that the Houthis have closed off now and Cape Town. If Cape Town decides to close off the seaport, and I'm not saying they must attack the shipping companies or the shipping vessels, no, they just close the port whenever Western vessels come through, and then reopen them when Eastern and any other shipping companies come through. That's all we're saying. They don't have to close them permanently for everybody, just for Western. Any ships destined for Israel, for America, for Britain, for any of those allies that are bombing Palestine. That's what we're saying. Now, you may say to me, well, why do we need to be petty like them? You see, to be honest, we do not have the military capabilities of standing up to America with ships and bombs and all that, right? But what we can do is use all the tools that we have at our disposal to strong arm America into stopping the bombing, the genocide of women and children in Palestine. That's all we're asking. Okay. So number three, leverage. If we close the seaport to Western shipping companies, it gives South Africa unprecedented leverage when negotiating an end to the war and a continuation of the ICJ case. Number three, number three, right? Number four, when the shipping lanes are closed, South Africa can actually double or triple charging the amounts they're currently charging for the use of the ports, right? So it doesn't matter where and how you want to frame it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, South Africa holds sway when it comes to the ports because once South Africa decides to close the ports, I promise you, the one thing that they've never ever had would be a leg up, one up on America when it comes to any negotiations. Once once we close the seaport, we will have America in a chokehold that they won't be able to wriggle out of because remember, the Red Sea is already choked off. The sad reality is that America doesn't know how to play nice. America doesn't know how to play fair. So it's only fair that South Africa retaliates in a way that gives them a leg up and a way to strong arm America into doing what South Africa wants them to do. Guys, do you know another thing is that South Africa can charge because when they stop to refuel in Cape Town, right? Do you know South Africa can triple their prices if they want to, and America wouldn't have a choice because they need the goods, right? They need the goods, so they will pay up. That's more money. That's the pro. The pro. South Africa gets to get more money into the Cape Town economy. I think that's a very good idea. So we must play petty and we must play unfair. We must play dirty too because they're playing dirty. So we need to play dirty too, right? I think so. Next, we get into the cons of closing the seaport to Western shipping companies. This is going to be great. Hello. Okay, so people, now we're getting into the cons, right, of South Africa closing the shipping point, right? Now, first thing first, America is going to bomb South Africa, right? Now we know they're going to attack South Africa if we did do that, right? Because that's what America does. What else does America know other than bombing other countries, right? Number two, trade tariffs are also going to increase from the American side. We all know that, right? Are we afraid of it? Of course we are. Is it going to harm us? Of course it is. But is it something that we can live with? Of course it is. Is it something that's going to decimate our economy? No, it's not. Because we have other things to leverage off of, but we do not take advantage of those things. That's the problem. We're depending too much on them and we overthink these things. A lot of people assume that South Africa fully needs America, and we don't. Really, we don't. For all we care, they can take their go and they can have it, and they can. We don't even need it at all, to be honest. Thirdly, America will definitely make life impossible for us on the international stage, right? With all their influence, their money, and their deals, and their military, and all that. We all know that, right? But they're going to need an excuse. They're going to need to come up with an excuse to attack South Africa on that. So we all know that, right? They're going to need an excuse. But they don't need a valid excuse. All they just need is one stupid rule to say, we asked you to do something and they refuse and you refuse to do it. So now we're going to make it sound as if, or they're going to make it look like we are guilty of something that we didn't do, right? We all know those games. Or because we are doing these petty, what we call microaggressions, right? So these petty moves, right? Like changing the street name, closing the seaport. Well, the seaport is not even a microaggression because it's actually a major, oh, wow. It's not even a microaggression, it's actually a major thing. It's a big thing actually because if you cut off someone's trade, someone's what's the trade route, right? If you cut off someone's supply route, I mean it's not micro. That's a big deal, right? So obviously they are going to react in a way. So yeah. So last but not least, prepare for the backlash when we go ahead with our micro aggressions with America. Those are the negatives that I can think of. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Was I on the money or did I totally miss it with this one? Hello.